going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of TPS-TV. I'm going to be honest with you, I got no film review this week. Something else is kind of bothering me, and since I'm in charge of the social media TPS wing here at TPS Productions, I'm in charge of what goes on this channel, so I'm like, you know what, I'm going to use this to vent out my own personal grievances. You already know where I'm going with this because you clicked on the video and you saw what the title was, but whatever, I'm going to do the intro anyways. So, it was announced a couple weeks ago that they're going to bring 2 more Halloween movies, Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends, and it's going to wrap up, even though they keep saying the trilogy. It's technically 4 movies because this last Halloween movie was a sequel to a movie that was also called Halloween by the same name. Anyway, so big announcement. Everybody in the horror community is so super happy, except for this guy right here. Now, I need to state 2 things first, just so we're clear. That my opinions are my own. I don't reflect anybody here at TPS. In fact, I happen to know for a fact the vast majority of everybody here at TPS loves the new Halloween movie. Like, fucking loves it. Like, and so it's, you know, I'm speaking out of turn here. So, and then secondly, I will say this, regardless of what I'm going to say here in a second, don't get it twisted. Having 2 Halloween movies that I'm not looking forward to is still better than no Halloween movies. And I'm okay with that. Like, that's, just keep that clear. I'm glad we're getting Halloween movies. I'm not happy with what we're getting, but I'm glad we're getting something. Like I said, the golden age, I've said this, you know, I know I've said this at least 2 or 3 times here on TPS TV, but it's like, there was a golden age where, like, you know, in the 80s, every year you knew you were going to get a Nightmare on Elm Street, or a Friday the 13th, or a Halloween, and it must have been so fucking awesome back then, and we don't have that anymore. And of course, with the fucking lawsuit going on right now, we won't have a Friday the 13th movie for a long time. I don't know why we don't have a Nightmare on Elm Street. What's going on with that? I feel I honestly assume as soon as Halloween, and it did well financially. Halloween did great. I was like, they're going to turn right around and start remaking everything now. No, because remember it was Rob Zombie's Halloween that kind of kickstarted that first boost of, you know, horror remakes or whatever. I mean, I know they did some remakes before that. I'm just saying that was the one that, like, you know, as soon as they did that, they're like, well, shit, now we greenlit Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street. And so yeah, I thought this was going to do the same thing. We was going to get another renaissance here, and we didn't at all. So, but anyway, so yeah, let's talk about why I'm not particularly thrilled about this upcoming duo of Halloween movies coming out. I was not a fan of the 2018 version for numerous reasons. Now, overall, you know, I think a lot of horror fans, whenever you hear a remake, they just quickly cringe and start crying and bitching. And, you know, I won't deny, I used to be that guy, like in the early 2000s, where I'm just like, that's sacred, you can't remake that. But 9 times out of 10, the remake sucks, and then it doesn't matter. I'm still watching the original anyways, and no one talks about the remakes. That's what's so fucking great, is like, whenever a remake just completely bombs, no one talks about it. It goes right back to the original. Like, no one's really talking about Black Christmas, except for the fact that they're remaking it again, because that last remake sucked balls. So, whenever anybody brings up Black Christmas, we know what you're talking about. When someone talks about Wicker Man, we know what you're talking about. No one's talking about the Nick Cage abortion. We're talking about the good one with Christopher Lee. And so, you know, when it comes to remakes, I'm just kind of like, it is what it is. And the thing is, you know, don't get me wrong, I'm sure I don't have a chart in front of me. I'm sure it's out there somewhere on the internet. But, you know, we are in the golden age of remakes right now, especially with the last, like, 10, 15, 20 years. But, you know, remakes have been around for as long as there's been horror films. Seriously, I forget the number, but there was like 10 Dr. Jekylls and Mr. Hydes. I didn't say it right. There are 10 Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hydes. Yes, the S was at the end of the whole thing. I don't double. Anyways, movies that came out like back in the late teens, early 20s, about 100 years ago. And that's just because back then they didn't have a whole lot of original properties and, you know, books or movies to, you know, make. So, yeah, there's a shit ton of those, and to my knowledge, now, I don't know, maybe I wasn't around back then, maybe people were bitching about remakes back then. I just saw that movie last week, and it was great. Why are they remaking it? Again, who knows? But no, it's been around forever. I mean, and the thing is, remakes don't always mean a bad thing. The Hammer films, great. They redid the old Universal movies, and they did a great job at it. The Fly, The Thing. These are movies that are way better than their original, counterparts. So it happens. For me personally, and I'm sure I'll get some people to disagree with me, but like, I spit on your grave. I think the remake's way better than the original. Love the remake. Didn't have any high hopes for it either. I was like, this is gonna be probably shit. No, turned out to be incredible. So no, I'm not that guy. I do kind of like this trend in Hollywood where we're just like, we're going to make direct sequels. Now, they've done this before, especially with Halloween, because it's like the third or fourth time they've reset the timeline on Halloween. I think what irritates me the most about this is they keep resetting it the same people. Everybody's like so happy that Jamie Lee Curtis is coming back, and I'm like, I don't care. She came back once, and it was incredible. And I know, it's funny now, when Halloween H2O came out, people loved it. When I was in my early 20s, people still gave it a thumbs up, and now that the new one's out, everybody just completely turned around and started shitting on H2O. I don't get it. I like H2O. I think H2O is a really good movie. It's in my top 4 Halloween films of all time. I think it's incredible. Yes, it does have a 90s vibe to it. Yes, it looks like Scream. It's a product of its time. It's still a really good movie. And it still, in my opinion, still holds up. Still holds up. I watch it. I still like it. It would lead to one of the shittiest films, not just in the Halloween, franchise, just of all time, with Halloween Resurrection. But that's neither here nor there. Still, even when H2O came out, I was even miffed. And I was in junior high when that movie came out. And I was even miffed then that they just kind of done away with parts 4, 5, and 6. I was like, really? But I made peace with it. It is what it is. And then they did the remake with Rob Zombie, so it just kind of further fractured things. And then they just like, we're going to reconnect it to one. And even then I was like, whatever. Like, I don't care at this point. We're getting our Halloween movie. But the first thing that just kind of struck me was they're just like, we're going to win the whole brother-sister thing. Now, I get it. When the first movie came out, there was never the initial connection there. I guess if you were around at the time, you watched it, it was just some crazy dude running around killing people. I never had that luxury. Like, I was born in 1985, so as long as I've been around, Michael Myers and Laurie Strode have always been siblings. It just was. Even when I watched the first one, I already knew they were brother and sister, so that was my whole thing anyways. And that leads me to my next point. So with this next, movie coming out, with the remake and the new trilogy they're doing, they did away with the whole brother-sister thing, and everybody is now sucking that off. Like, oh, it's way better that way. It's not at all. And I'm going to tell you why. For one, it's almost like they're one that act like we've had, 40 years of Halloween. When you think of Michael Myers, you're thinking of everything he's done in any version, any timeline. It's all there. But when you do just watch part 1 and then turn around and watch the 40 years sequel, it's very lackluster, and it doesn't do it justice. Here's the thing. So, like, Jamie Lee Curtis is holding this grudge for 40 years. Now, the 20-year one made sense because, once again, he followed her to a hospital. It wasn't just a random, like, hey, I'm a psychotic killer and I'm killing people. No, he follows her to the hospital, tries to kill her there, explosion, boom, she fakes her death and runs away to California, has Josh Hartnett, and then 20 years later, bam, Michael's back. He has a reason to follow her. He's blood related, call it supernatural, whatever you want to call it. Something was driving him to kill his bloodline, and that to me is way better than just some guy who just kills for no reason. Now I know you're going to be like, well, the mystery is so much better when you don't know. Fuck off. Here's the thing about the new one, is he shouldn't give a shit about Jamie Lee Curtis at all. In fact, he doesn't actually go after her at all. No, it's a weird series of crazy coincidences that it just leads him to her house, where she's been sitting for 40 years, setting up traps and booby housing her house like it's a fucking Jigsaw movie. And I'm just like, really? And there's no personal animosity there. He goes out Halloween night back in the 70s, kills some random people. Doesn't even have a good body count if you're just counting part 1 either. Kills a couple random people, that's it, boom. And then she just can't let it go. She's like, there's evil there, he's going to come after me. For 40 years, she's been sitting there. drinking herself away, looking out her window. He's coming for me. He wasn't coming for you. In fact, if that bus never crashes, he never would have showed up. That's just fact. If the, it just seems like, why would he even have a reason? He doesn't care about you. He doesn't know you. And then that brings me to the other part. And everybody's like, there's just little moments in the 2018 version that just irritate me. Like the scene where like the two podcasters show up to do an interview with Michael Myers. Oh God, present day, right? And they pull the mask out and he kind of twitches. Like it has magical properties or something. It's a fucking mask that he grabbed out of a random hardware store or something. That's it. There's no, at least like in Rob Zombie's version, the kid had a adverse liking to wearing masks. It hid him from everybody else, and it made sense. And then the one mask that he wears the night that he kills his sister, it would make sense why he would go back and grab that mask. This is a dude who literally kills his sister, grows up in a mental institution, breaks out, kills 3 or 4 random people with a mask for whatever reason, and then when he gets captured, 40 years later, he sees that mask, he's like, oh, that mask! Really? No, you're an idiot. The fact that he's a senior citizen, like, I don't care what anybody says, or, well, he's crazy! He's a psychotic killer, so he can be crazy and still have that superhuman strength. Here's the thing, is whenever we saw the Rob Zombie version, which I like the Rob Zombie, I know I'm probably in the minority there, everybody hates Rob Zombie's Halloween movies, I like them. The big complaint is like, he turns him into Jason Voorhees. That's not my Michael Myers. Well, here he's the same fucking brutal guy, except he's smaller and older. He's 60 fucking years old, and he's like ripping people's jaws out and shit. I'm like, really? Dude, I'll punch you in the fucking hip and end you right now. That's it. And I'm not a big guy, I'm a short dude and I'm tubby, and I will kick Myers in the fucking hip and put him down. That's a quote. You can quote me on saying that. And yet here he's like this unstoppable killing machine, and he's ripping people's jaws out, and he's toying with his victims, and like, I got their jawbones, and it's like, dude, you're old, and you're not even supernatural at this point. We've established you're not supernatural, and you got lucky somehow by getting shot 6 times by Donald Pleasance back in the 70s. It's like, how much more do you got in you? You don't have any, and that's the point. I don't know. So, don't get me wrong, with the 2018, it wasn't a complete shit show, and I don't mean to be complete shitting on it, because there were aspects I did like, and like I said, some of the brutal kills were awesome, but at the same time, after I see it, I'm like, oh, that was fucking crazy. I mean, this old guy ain't doing it, but yeah. So, I mean, unless they somehow will just be like, fuck it, it is supernatural, or fuck it, we did find out you guys were related, I don't give a shit. That's just my vibe, that's just my feelings on the Halloween movie. So, the next 2, what are they going to do? They burned him up. Are we going to say that he's not supernatural still, and somehow he's just a 60-year-old fucking burn victim who is like, I'm still coming after you? He's not coming after her. He'll literally be like trying to go to rehab, and then she'll crash him and be like, hey, you're coming after me, right? It's like, no, he wasn't at all coming near you. I don't know. It was just, it's a bad movie. And that's alright, I'll get hate for this, and that's fine. Put your hate comments down there in the comments section. But that's it. I'm sorry. Hopefully we'll do a review next week. Like I said, I don't ever plan these shows out. I just kind of hit the camera and go, wait, did I watch anything this week? Or what's on my mind right now? And right now, the new Halloween movie's on my mind. I'm like, you know what? I'm sharing it. I'm giving it to you guys right there. So, yeah, let me know how much you guys love the new Halloween movies and how much you're looking forward to the new ones. And go ahead and shit on the rest of the franchise and just be like, yay, 2018 Myers is the best Myers we ever had in the world. And then drop all that shit down below. That's all I got, guys. Thank you for watching. And, hey, I guess I'll throw out some TPS news. It's just this TPS-TV. Next week, we got our new show, Journey Through the Dark Side. If you're a pro wrestling fan, me and Simon sit down and talk The Undertaker. We do a retrospective. We started with, tune in. Find out where we start at, actually. And, yeah, check that out. That will debut next week on Saturday. And, yeah, I'll... normal TPS TV, after that, like sure what we're doing. This is just crap I throw together in my spare time, so, just try to put some content on our YouTube channel. And, yeah, and we just now are finishing up post-production. Really, I should say post-production. Productions done. Just getting some final touches on the first snuff film, which is the short film I was shooting earlier this year. So that will be up and ready to go, and we will actually have the public domain, TPS public domain dungeon DVDs up soon, actually. So yeah, been doing that. And did my first squib test today. We did our own homemade squibs. And yeah, I may actually put that up on YouTube as well. It's over on our Facebook page. We'll go over there and check it out. But yeah, so and all in all, it's been a pretty good day. And I just got done watching Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which is fucking amazing. But yeah, nothing horror related, I guess. That's why I'm bitching about Halloween right now. So that's all I got, guys. Thank you very much. Till next time.